I attended Medway schools for most of my life, with the exception of a couple of years. I lived in England and I went to school over in England for a couple of years, and I think I was in fifth or sixth grade, fourth and fifth grade, and then I came back to Medway for sixth through 12th grade, and I graduated in 1990.
How did you get involved in Newswatch or the Cable 8 groups when you were at Medway High School?
Yeah, so I was always kind of a real big still photography guy. I, I think I hung around the production studio some there and stuff. I don't know if I was ever really an official member of it, but I remember thinking the technology was really cool. I think I helped film the play once there and stuff. I'm sure I probably gave them some photos to use and stuff. So I even though I was never, I don't think, like formally a part of producing the weekly production shows of it, I was around it and I was kind of helping out. It was a great piece of technology to have, in high school back in 1990. It was sort of really cool to have, and now you kids can do it all. You can podcast from your home, with better quality than we ever had. So it's kind of amazing the way the technology has changed.
It really is. How did being involved in, photography and being around Newswatch, how did it contribute to your current career?
Yeah, so I was actually at a Medway Mustangs baseball game, and there's a photographer across the field from me from the Milford Daily News, and I was like looking at that guy, and I'm like, hey, he gets paid to take pictures. I should get paid to take pictures. So I went home that night to my dad. We lived over on North Street across from the park at the time and stuff, and I said to my dad, I said, hey, I think I know what I want to do for a living. He goes, oh, what's that? I said, I want to be a photographer. My dad's an engineer and my mother's a teacher. And so I was kind of expecting him to be like, no, you can't be a photographer. And he goes, yeah, sure. Okay. Whatever. That's great. And I'm like, all right, good. It's settled. so, um, I then, I figured out what school I wanted to go to and stuff. I started working for the Milford Daily News when I was in high school. I took my first photos there and stuff. I used to I hung out with their photographers and learned a lot from them and stuff there. But I was always kind of interested in stills and media and stuff, I was hanging around the production studio there at Cable 8 and everything like that.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to see, and the cameras that were always sort of really interesting to me as well. So,
Do you have any other favorite or cool memories when you were at Medway High School?
I played soccer at Medway, and we had a really good run back then. Coach Truscott was the coach back then. I really enjoy it. I still get home. My parents still live in Medway, and so I still get back home. I've been up to the new high school. It looks so nice. I wish I had those nice facilities and playing fields there and stuff. So it's been interesting to see. I thought Medway was a good place for me to grow up and stuff. I enjoyed my time there. I look back on it fondly.
What steps did you take to get to where you are today in your career?
I had figured out, I'm pretty fortunate that I figured out pretty early what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a photojournalist, and I started working for it was actually the Country Gazette and the Milford Daily News I was working for when I was in high school, and I was writing sports stories and taking pictures, and I was always much better at taking pictures than I was at writing the stories. It would take me forever to write the stories, but I could just shoot the pictures, and it all worked out pretty well. And so I just really enjoyed the picture aspect of journalism more than writing, which I always found to be a very labored process. So I was naturally drawn over to photos. And I was working on the yearbook at Medway and stuff, and I was always taking pictures. I think it was just something that I enjoyed doing, and when I figured out you could make a living doing it, I was like, that'd be pretty great to do. I figured out what college to go to. I went to the Rochester Institute of Technology as a photojournalism major. I think senior year I was talking to some of the Boston Globe photographers, and one of them, Stan Grossfeld, who went to the Rochester Institute of Technology, and so I was like, well, that's where I'm going to go then. And So that's how I figured that out. And then after college, I came back to the area for a little bit, and I was working as a freelance lighting assistant for Sports Illustrated photographers and lighting arenas and portrait shoots. And I was working for the Associated Press and the New York Times and USA Today as a freelancer. And then I got a job at the Providence Journal Bulletin as a temporary photographer. And then I went down to Naples, Florida for 3 years. And I worked down in Naples. There's times this last winter when it was like 0 degrees. I was wondering, like, why did I leave Florida? Um, and now I've been in St. Louis for almost 21 years. So it's been a good journey. It's been a lot of fun and stuff.
What are some of your achievements that you are most proud of in your current career?
I think that the Post Dispatch photo staff was um, involved early on in covering the protests in Ferguson. I was there within the first hours of it and stuff, and I think that that we the staff was awarded a Pulitzer Prize for that for our work there and that, and I think that that's probably going to be always something that people are going to ask me about and talking about for the rest of my life. And so I'm definitely very proud of the work that our staff did there. But we also do a lot of great things of just local community journalism that may not resonate outside of St. Louis, but is very important to the people that live here and the people that we serve as journalists here in St. Louis. And so what I value most about my job is the diversity of things I get to do, from sports to news to features, happy stories, sad stories. We really get to see the full range of human emotions and experiences, and that makes it fun and interesting for me. So I think that's what I'm most proud of, is that we're capturing the full range of experiences for the community here.
Mm-hmm. Is there any person or role model that has guided you on your journey?
Yeah, there's so many influences. This guy Michael Waltz at the Milford Daily News was the first guy who took me in a darkroom and showed me some stuff in a darkroom. I was like, oh my god. Um, a woman, Ellen, over at the Country Gazette, really kind of took me in and showed me, like, she was like, took this young, ambitious kid who had a lot of energy and not a lot of knowledge, and she sort of helped shape me, early on as well. Some of the guys at the Boston Globe who, I've since run into, and I'm like, do you remember I met you when I was in high school? And they're like, oh my God, shut up. You're making me feel old. So, I think it's a lot of little influences along the way. Dan Hansen, who was at the Associated Press office in Boston, and was hiring freelancers, always made sure to throw people my way and give me lots of work, and kept me fed and everything like that. So I think it's a matter of building relationships, and then kind of putting in the hard work to show people that you're serious about doing what you want to do.